What's up, guys? How are you doing? Woo! Monday has come and gone. Tuesday is upon us. We are on episode 203 now. You know, 3 episodes removed from our 200th celebration this past Thursday. So thank you very much for now allowing me to continue to do this shit that I call fun. And, again, I can't express my gratitude enough. So, with all that being said, let's just get right to the music, shall we? So let's hit that intro.
There's a system in place to keep us in chains. By show of hands, who else is sick and tired of the same? 1% trying to keep us small, trying to keep us from getting out. Minimizing the struggles they've caused, saying we're not working hard enough.
We really should stop this fighting. Otherwise, we'll miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
And welcome, everybody, to Suck It. I am the great and powerful King of Kings, Prince of all that is awesome, Derek. How the fuck are you doing today on this beautiful Tuesday of May in 2021? I hope your week is going good. I hope your week started off great, and I hope, it ends that way too, because we all need a little bit of happiness in our lives, don't we? We all need a little bit of a positive outlook with everything that's been going on in the world. So keep their head up, keep your faith, keep everything going great, because you know what? It can only get better from here, right? We're in the roaring 20s, right? That's what we're supposed to be. That's what everyone's saying. So let's continue on, because you know what? With everything that's been going on in the world, one thing that's been really, really good over the last couple weeks is the fact that in the metal and rock world, we've had a shit ton of festivals announced, and all those festivals sold out within days, which is fucking phenomenal. I am so excited, whether it's Incarceration or Blue Ridge Fest or Aftershock or any of the other ones, Welcome to Rockville. There's so many good stuff going on, and a lot of the same bands are hitting all these same festivals like they do every year, but the fact that so many people have come out and just said, thank God music's back, is a great, great thing. So let's continue on with some more music and some more good stuff, because that's what we do best here. So my guest today is out of North Carolina, Greensboro to be more exact, and the Brooklyn Vegan describes their band as the middle ground between adolescent snotty punk and the harder sounds of DC post-hardcore. So that's a good fucking description if I've ever heard one, because their music is just that. So without any further ado, please welcome the band. Excuse me. Well, one guy from the band. There we go. Totally Slow. Thanks for correcting me while I was saying that, because I'm so used to saying the band.
Yeah, I'm the one that's always sent out to say stuff. So
Yeah, I mean that's how it goes, isn't it?
yeah,
There's that one guy that is always like, yeah, let's just send him out. He's
the visionary.
The visionary. He's the good-looking one of us all. He's a better
Yeah.
talker. We're his background people.
The eye candy, the visionary. I have a lot of roles in this band. Yeah.
Eye candy. Well, yeah, with a beard like that, I of course. I mean,
Yeah.
what else is, yeah. So how's it going, man?
It's okay. Yeah, doing good. It's been a weird year for everybody, I guess. But
Yeah.
Hunkering down and making this record over the last year has that was a good distraction and a good positive thing to sort of be working towards the whole time. As the world burned around us. So I lost your voice. I can't hear you.
Oh, that was me.
Okay.
I always do that shit. You know, in 200 episodes, I have not learned my lesson. I take a hit from my vape and I mute myself, and then I forget to unmute myself.
Mhm.
I am that idiot that doesn't learn from his mistakes.
Can't work like this. I can't work like this.
You know, that makes me sad. But, you know, I get that. But, you know, at the same time, for bands like yours and all the other, you know, smaller indie bands or indie labeled bands or bands that are just signed for distribution deals, you know, not actual contracts, have made out like bandits this past year. Because the bands that are signed to those major label contracts that are all about the dollar haven't been doing shit.
They can't do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, and now, you know, the three aforementioned, you know, types of bands are out there just putting shit out constantly, and now all of a sudden they're making it into the top 20 of iTunes. They're making it into the top 10 of Spotify, and you're like, who the fuck is this? And it's quite awesome, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the only weird thing was just the timing. Like, when should we release? Like, how are we gonna get people to pay attention? Because our bread and butter has always been, as far as getting people to buy records and notice us, is playing shows. You know, so
Yeah.
having that taken out of the equation has been interesting. I'm ready to get back. I'm not gonna rush it, but we had a lot of cool stuff planned when all this started. So I guess that's why we just kind of hunkered down and we're like, well, let's record all these songs we've been writing. And yeah, so
How long have you been sitting on these songs?
Oh, the recording since I'm gonna get this probably wrong, but it was fall-ish of last year that we recorded. I think around October.
Okay. So that's about the normal time frame.
About normal, yeah. I guess we recorded about October. I get the timelines mixed up. Refresh agreed to put it out pretty soon thereafter. So that's cool. And yeah, so now the singles are trickling out, and then the record's coming out in June. So
yeah, I listened to the first single today, which was, hold on, don't tell me. Found Factions. I listened to that today. That is a fucking cool ass track.
Thank you.
It really is. And you know, we were talking about the Brooklyn vegan thing, but you know that, I mean, it does accurately describe your guys' sound.
Yeah, they did kind of nail it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even though you're from North Carolina, you do have that Southern California punk sound, but then that you do have that post-hardcore sound as well. I mean,
yeah,
you know, it's definitely, it's not new or different. Definitely not. I mean,
yeah,
there's a lot of bands that are doing that, but at the same time, there's a lot of bands that are doing it well, and there's a lot of bands that not so well, or trying too hard to sound like something else that they're not.
Right.
And you guys do it very, very well, and it just seems like it comes very naturally to you guys.
Yeah. Well, when I was a kid, my dad was like he had been a big collector of like 60s like surf music, like the Ventures and Dick Dale and stuff like that. So that's what was kind of around the house when I was little. And then in like middle school, when I started discovering a lot of that Southern California hardcore you were talking about, like Agent Orange and Adolescence and all this stuff, and I was like, oh, that's kind of got this, it's kind of the same, like it's in there, you know, the surfy sound is kind of meshed in with this new punk rock sound that I was learning about. And that's how I learned how to play guitar. I mean, I learned how to play guitar listening to Agent Orange, listening to The Faction, and I kind of got stuck that way. So because that's 25, 30 years ago. I'm an old man. So I've been doing it honestly that way for a very long time. It's not like I'm not trying to jack into anything. It's just, you know, it's just how I came up. It's how I learned about music. It's how I played music.
Yeah, and that's how I learned how to play guitar myself. I actually taught myself to play guitar with Pearl Jam's 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's just a phenomenal record.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best records, of the '90s, in my opinion. One of the best records of all time, in my opinion. And I forced myself to play, learn how to play guitar that way. Same thing with Ben from Breaking Benjamin. He learned how to, play guitar by listening to Nirvana as a kid.
Yeah.
So that is a really, really, in my opinion, a lost art of learning how to play guitar.
Yeah.
Just by listening to your favorite stuff and just teaching yourself and listening over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Too many people
And
nowadays.
it's fun. It's
oh
like
my
the
God.
funnest way to get obsessed with playing is to,
Yeah.
because, when I have kids and they've been like, well, what's the best way for me to learn guitar? Should I take lessons? And I'm like, the first thing you should do is sit down with some headphones on and try to play along with some of the simpler stuff that you like to listen to.
Yeah.
That's really where you're going to get the basics. I had a little practice amp that had a headphone jack. So I would have one set of headphones from the stereo and then another set on top of them from the amp, and I would just get the mix right. And it was, it was like I was in Suicidal Tendencies for a couple of hours,
Yeah. I used to record music videos from MTV on tapes, on VCR tapes, and specifically like Even Flow and Jeremy and stuff like that from that same album, and kind of wait for the guitar parts to be shown on screen so I can kind of see what a chord looked like.
Steal their riffs, yeah.
Yeah, steal their chord and kind of get okay, so that's what that sound. Okay, that's what that sound is. That's what that sound is, and then play around with it a little bit more. And yeah, I mean, now we've got everything from Fender made an app to help you teach you to play guitar. Sinister Gates from Avenged Sevenfold has a free online school where him and his dad teach you to play guitar. What else? I mean, then there was that one Xbox game that came out a while back where you actually plug a real guitar into your Xbox, and I can't remember what that one was called.
I don't either.
I mean, there's so many other ways now, but that art of just listening to, well, now an MP3 or what, Spotify or whatever, and just doing it the old-fashioned way is lost.
Yeah, and I still can't really translate tabs and stuff. Like I don't know. I mean, I can sit down with something and figure it out, but any kind of visual representation of how to play a chord, I'm like, it's like just noise. I can't make any sense of it. I'd still rather learn that way. So
yeah, I mean, when I was in middle school, my mom tried to get me to play clarinet, so I had to learn how to read music that way.
I was second chair clarinet in 6th grade.
I was third chair. See, there we go.
Yeah.
But so I learned how to read music that way. But as far as like with guitar tabs or guitar sheet music, I can't do it at all.
No, I took piano forever too when I was really little. I've 100% lost all of that skill. I don't have any of that. So. And it's not necessary for what I'm doing,
No, not really. No.
Yeah, I mean, I can play guitar pretty good in a very specific way, Like my in-laws will be like, "Bring your guitar to Christmas," and I'm like, "What, you want me to play Rites of Spring songs? Like, what do you want me? I can't do what you're gonna want me to do." So yeah, it's funny. It's very limited, but that's
you can't do Elvis Blue Christmas.
Probably not. I mean, give me 2 sets of headphones and a record player. I'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out. There you go. That's it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So, like I mentioned at the start of the show, that there's a lot of festivals being announced for the end of the summer into the fall. Which, when I saw that a couple weeks ago, I got so fucking stoked.
Yeah.
I mean, even like one of my favorite bands out of the early 2000s that broke up in early 2010s, Mudvayne is coming back for some of these tours. And I'm like, oh my God, yes, Mudvayne's coming back. It's like, okay, cool, music's finally coming back. And you guys get to be a part of a festival in Florida this year too, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with the fest, but it's a pretty big thing. We've done it a couple times. And I was kind of thinking, like, is it going to really happen? But now I really feel like it's definitely going to happen. And it definitely like feels great to have something to look forward to. And
yeah, because Florida's pretty much fully open now. And then, like I said, Welcome to Rockville, which is the biggest one in Florida. That's set for Daytona Beach at I think the Daytona 500 this year. It's normally in Jacksonville, but they moved it. And then the biggest rock station down there in Orlando, 101.1 WJRR, does their Earth Day Birthday Festival every year, and that got moved from obviously April to end of the summer as well. So that looks like it's going to happen as well. So hopefully Florida, keeps, the trends that they have, even though I have no idea how they fucking did it. I'm not going to, debate that, but, it looks like it's going to happen. So, that's definitely a sign of good things to come. I mean, even here in Virginia, we have Blue Ridge Fest, and that is a monster festival, 4 days. I don't even know how many bands. They haven't even announced them all yet. Mm-hmm. That looks like it's going to happen, and we've been pretty strict here in Virginia, so I have some high hopes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretending like everything's going to be okay by then, and we usually do, kind of a little mini tour on the way down there, so that'll be a really great re-entry into that world if it comes to it. So
yeah, so I mean, so now you've got this one single out now, which, like I said, just fucking kicks. You got another single coming out next week, you said? Yeah,
on the 18th. It's called Dead Skater. We kind of made a whole little homemade video for it, which I think turned out pretty good. We did it that first, I don't know if you watched the video for Found Factions, but we actually have a friend who like directs videos, and he came and made that one with us. The Dead Skater video, we just brought some cameras to where we practiced and set them up around the room and just filmed ourselves and then kind of edited it all together. And I think it turned out pretty cool. And that one's kind of like more of a ripper than Found Factions. Like, it's faster and a little more surfy. So yeah, I'm excited to get it out there.
And when's the album come out?
June 4th.
June 4th.
Yeah, pre-orders are up now though. It's linked on all the stuff.
Yeah, and it'll be linked in the description of the the podcast and the video and everything else in between, because awesome. That's what we do here.
Yeah.
So what was it like, prior to the fall of last year when you guys actually got together to start recording for you guys? I mean, what was like the thought process? What was going through you guys' head? I mean, were you guys thinking that this was possibly going to be it? I mean, were you thinking of other ways to try to get out there? I mean, what was going on in your guys' heads as a band?
Well, like I said, I've been at this a long time, and I've been calling it what we're calling it Totally Slow in a few different iterations over the last few years, and we kind of recently shook up the lineup a little bit, and the other guitarist Chuck and I got a little more collaborative as far as figuring out riffs and putting parts together, and because before that it really was kind of the me show, I was just kind of bringing songs in and everybody just played along, and so it was more collaborative that way, like putting these songs together. And I just kind of had, I don't know, the last 4 years I was definitely in a different headspace than when we did our first record before 4 years ago, which was a little more positive, a little more uplifting. I was just I had a lot of piss and vinegar to get out of my system. So, I definitely wanted this to be more aggro and like kind of more grab you by the collar and scream in your face kind of stuff. And so we started writing songs pretty quick once we added Kate on bass. And then our drummer and bass player are our partners, and they live in the house that we were practicing in. So we really quickly decided, like, we'll just be each other's pod and keep practicing and keep playing when the quarantine started. So we never took a break from that. Like, we were still getting together at least once a week and playing and putting songs together. So it was pretty natural to be like, well, they're ready, let's go to the studio. But I definitely wanted it to be like a new foot forward, because I feel like it's got, I don't know, if you go back and listen to our other records, it's definitely like a different energy. And I wanted it graphically to look different, the aesthetics of it. I wanted everything. I just wanted it to be like a new, like, okay, this past 4 years has fucking sucked and we're all mad, and here's a mad record for you.
Yeah. Because we all are mad,
Yeah.
I mean, I had a conversation with a band yesterday that's going to be airing on Friday, which this is airing on Tuesday, so it already had aired. That's very confusing.
Time travel is really
travel is very odd. But I talked to a band on let's just say this past Friday that are two Asian gentlemen from California, and they play punk music as well. And so they've been dealing a lot with the whole Asian hate bullshit that's been going on. And, we kind of briefly discussed this exact, subject about, just how mad we are at the world right now. And to know that, in the midst of Black Lives Matter and all the, the hate that was going on, our government was sitting there spreading lies and, calling it the Kung flu and the China virus and causing more hate and everything else like that. And it's like, how can we even recover as a country right now when our own government's causing divide? And it's like, we just got to like hold hands and just sing Kumbaya and just say fuck, because now it's like, BLM is being, overcasted by, the Asian hate stuff and then the trans hate stuff. And it's like, why do we have to have this? Why can't we just have some sense of normality? Why do we always have to have, this is a target? Why do we got to target? It sucks. It really does.
I mean, it doesn't take much to get Nazis to crawl out from under their rock, and we had a whole administration just throwing beef jerky on the ground, it's like, but yeah, I think that's another reason that there's pretty cool music coming out. I mean, it's always said 80s hardcore was so good because everybody had to deal with Reagan, and we kind of got like a super Reagan, somehow got something worse than Reagan.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think a lot of people are really disillusioned and pissed off, and I felt like my overarching feeling the last few years, because as a straight white guy, I've tried to just listen more and not really put my, we've said enough, I think, over the history of this country, and I've been doing a lot of listening and trying to be an ally where I can. And but the main overarching feeling that I was having over the last couple of years, and especially even once COVID started, was that we're just all being confused and gaslit 100% of the time, and nothing's real. Up is down, the sky's purple. And that was why when I had a friend of mine who's a really great collage artist make the cover of our record, which I don't know if you've got there, but that's Sissy Spacek from Carrie, that's her face, and from the 70s. And
oh my god, it is.
Yeah. And when he first presented that idea to me, I was kind of like, well, that's weird. What? And then it really hit me that is so, I mean, the ultimately gaslit person was we're all fucking on the homecoming stage getting blood dumped on us right now while everybody laughs. That's what it feels like to me. And I want to set everything on fire.
Yeah. And the zippers over her eyes.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to insert the whole thing right now, so people can see what we're talking about.
Well, Ron, who did that, is a really great collage artist. He does a lot of work for Merge Records and stuff like that. And he was in this band, sort of legendary North Carolina punk band called Pipe back in the day. And I was just just do something and I will use it. That was another part of the new aesthetic, was I don't want my aesthetic to sort of, I want to see what you hear when you listen to this record, and that's what he handed me, and I love it. I think it's very striking, and you can kind of find your own meanings in it, But the horror movie of the confused person who's been lied to, setting everything on fire, felt very of the moment to me,
Yeah, and it's definitely a good analogy for where we're at as a country.
Yeah.
Actually, as where we're at as a world right now, because 2 weeks ago I talked to a band from the UK called Royals, and they were sitting there telling me about stuff that's going on in their country, and we're kind of comparing notes back and forth. And I swear to God, it sounded like I was talking to my next door neighbor. I could have been talking to you.
Yeah, we don't have a monopoly on.
No, but it was it's mesmerizing to know the identical crap that we're going through. It's like, you think about we're America, we have different problems than everybody else. We're the big powerhouse, but we're not the big powerhouse anymore. We're not the greatest country in the world. You know, we're suffering just like everybody else, and to think that, you know, other countries have the exact same issues. You know, it's like it's not definitely one of those things where it's like, oh my god, it wasn't like a wow moment. It was just like a wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, tribalism and wanting to feel like you belong to something, and finding awful things to have kinship with other people with, such as what color you are, or fucking whatever, is not, you know, that's not an American thing. That's a human thing, probably a mammal thing, but
yeah, definitely a mammal thing.
yeah. So it at first it felt like, okay, we've made it okay, sort of, or Trump sort of made it okay to say kind of more horrible things out loud. So we started to get a better picture of like, okay, who's on the good guys team and who isn't, you know. But now it doesn't feel like that was such a great thing. Like, I feel like maybe those people feeling ashamed and staying quiet was better, you know.
Yeah, because now we've got, you know, U.S. Congress people that feel the need to come out and say that the fires in California weren't caused by, you know, baby showers or people. It was caused by Jewish lasers in space.
Yeah.
Thanks, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
So awful.
It is. It's so fucking awful. And, you know, and she's allowed to continue to spout that rhetoric. And now she's traveling the country spouting the rhetoric of fucking Donald Trump with that fucking rapist and child molester fucking Matt Gaetz. And people are sitting there applauding it. Like, what is going on?
It's tribalism again, you know. I'm on this team, you're on that team. And they made it all about that. They capitalized on that, you know, for power. Just like, because, you know, I can't say either political party is completely righteous or doing what I want, but man, the conservative party is just that that's their whole thing now, is owning the libs. That's their whole thing. It's one big troll operation. There's no policy, there's no ideology. It's just be shitty to people you disagree with, you know. That's the whole
it's sad. I mean, it just really is, because, you know, and I've made this analogy 100,000 times on the show, but like, go back and listen to stuff from the 50s and 60s, whether it be the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, fucking, you know, Janis Joplin or Hendrix, and the same things that we're talking about right now, they were then, you know. And it's like, you know, and then go into the 70s and you got the Ramones and, you know, Black Flag and all this other stuff, and, you know, talking about the exact same stuff. And it's like, when are we going to learn our lesson?
I don't think we're going to learn it.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Because it makes for good music and good movie and good TVs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the sad reality of it all.
The draw towards, you know, people just love to run through the street with pitchforks. And if they can find a reason to do it, they will do it. Whether it's, you know, religion or gay rights or trans rights or racism or whatever. But I don't think that's going anywhere.
It's not,
you know,
and it's sad. You know, I had a conversation last year, right at the middle of Black Lives Matter, with somebody who works for the LGBTQ task force here in DC.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she was sitting there. She's older than us. She's in her early 50s, I think she was. And she's sitting there saying, you know, I hope that I can see some change in my lifetime, but at least I can hope to see, you know, more change in my kid's lifetime. But I don't think there's going to be any change until my great-grandkids' lifetime. And for somebody who, you know, tries so hard on a daily basis to advocate for, you know, that group of people, you know, it's like, do we even see it that far in the future? I mean, our great-grandkids, are they going to see that much change?
Yeah,
probably not. And it's a sad fact that it's never going to change.
Yeah. Well, it's you know, collectivism is the one thing that Homo sapiens had on all the other animals, and that's why we've taken over the world. But it also is, it feeds our worst demons, you know.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of us still have that, that caveman mentality about hitting women over the head with a fucking, rock and saying, "Me man, you woman, come with me."
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, unfortunately, that there's still a lot of misogyny, there's still a lot of racism and hate, and there's still a lot of, false information that people just eat up and will feed off of, and it's just,
Yeah.
it's,
Well, that's the worst. That's the most impossible, hopeless despair I feel is that the floodgates are open on, feeding the Dunning-Kruger effect of people would much rather. People do not like to say, "I'm not smart about that thing, so I'm gonna just sit back and listen." Like, no, people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, viruses are complicated, but the idea that Bill Gates wants to inject you with something is not complicated. So I'm going to believe that, and then I'm going to be smart at that, And then the internet's just made it awful.
I've been dealing with the Dunning-Kruger effect since January, like hardcore, because I made the big mistake of inviting a flat Earth specialist onto my show, and that's turned into an absolute shit show, and I've become the absolute most hated man in the entire flat Earth society.
Yeah, you walked right into that.
Oh,
one.
but you know what? It's been so much fun. I mean, these fools try to attack a professional comedian with their flat Earth rhetoric, and it's like, guys, let's be smart about this, please. and they think they can insult me by calling me fat or stupid or uneducated. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, nothing says that you have a legitimate argument more than just going straight to the ad hoc pejoratives. It's like
my favorite one was, why are all the round earthers as round as the Earth? I was like, wait a second. or as round as the Earth that they believe in, or some shit like that.
Right, as round
I'm like,
as the Earth is
yeah,
not.
I was like, so yeah, you just go right to that guy's fat. I'm like, okay, first off, I'm not fat, so thanks for that. But that's your comeback to my
yeah. That means you got him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I even had an actual physicist and astrophysicist, and she's a researcher down in New Zealand. She's a professor at the University of Auckland. So like this chick is pretty well known, and they even try to discredit her. I'm like, what are you guys doing? But again, it goes even further than that. Again, like with the Bill Gates stuff. I mean, not only did Bill Gates try to put microchips on us with the vaccine, but I guess he also caused the massive snowstorm in Texas with fake snow, and look, it doesn't burn. What the fuck is wrong with you people? I mean, hey, I guess that's what caused his divorce from Melinda Gates. All the lies that he's been telling the country. She just got fed up with it. That's what it is. I didn't figured it out.
Why do you bother getting divorced when you're that rich and that old? Like, just go live in the other mansion, right? I don't understand that. It seems like a lot of trouble.
Did you know that she's not taking spousal support? She's just taking half of his shit and walking away.
Huh.
That's it. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, that's a decent woman right there. I'm gonna take half your shit, and you still owe me money every month for the rest of your life.
Right.
No, she's like, you're worth $40 billion. I think I can live off of 20
I
of
can
that.
get by on that. Yeah.
You can buy on 20.
God Lord.
People. I love people. And not for the, I love people in the way I hate people. It's like, I hate you for that, but I love you for that too, because you give me so much ammunition and so much things to talk about on my show, talk about things on stage when I can actually get up there and fucking talk on stage again. I have so much good shit. Thank you so much.
Yeah, a lot of material.
A lot of material. And it's just, all from people running their mouths again with the Dunning-Kruger effect. That, And for those of you who don't know what that means, it basically means the person that thinks they're the smartest guy in the room is telling everybody they're the dumbest guy in the room is actually the dumbest guy in the room. So there you go.
Yeah. The less you know about something, the more likely you are to think you know more than you do. Yeah.
Exactly. So don't Google and drive. I just explained it to you. Unless you're watching on YouTube, then you can Google it while you type.
Right.
I don't care. But don't Google and drive. Not a good thing. But dude, you are a class act. You're hilarious. The music is phenomenal.
Thank you so much.
I cannot wait to hear the rest of the album. Unfortunately, I did not get a do not share this link with the rest of the world. Oh wait, no, I did not. Never mind. So
You didn't get it?
No, I didn't get the for promotional purposes link. I normally do. Mike usually sends that to me.
Yeah, it wasn't. I know it's on that press release, so
Is it?
it must have got sliced off somehow or something.
I'm looking right now. Again.
Maybe at the top, maybe? I don't remember.
This one just gives me the.
That one might be specific to the single.
It's just specifically for the single. Hold on. Let me see here. Yeah, it's just for the single. I don't have the actual release one.
Well, I will.
That's fine.
I'll have a conversation with him.
It's fine. I like getting those though, because it's like I can listen to the whole album before everybody else. But
Yeah.
that's cool. But no, I'll just wait until June 4th, like everybody else, and download it and put it on my fucking Amazon playlist and rock out to it like everybody else.
Right on, man.
Because I will. Because if that one song is any indication of how the rest of this album is gonna sound, yeah, it's gonna
Well,
be
that's why we picked it, because it
Yeah.
felt like it represented everything else in a nice little nutshell. But
And when's you said when does the next one come out?
Dead Skater is the next single. It comes out. The exclusive video thing for it is the 18th, and I think it's on streaming on the 19th.
Okay, got it. So that'd be
So whatever days of the week that are.
next
and,
Wednesday, Thursday. So the day or two after this episode airs. So
We got to travel through time again. So I think it'll be on the it'll be on the day that this airs.
on the day okay, so cool. So it debuts right now. So
Today. It airs today.
So I will
Yeah.
have the link down below for it when I put this up. So,
Right on.
Yeah, check that out. You guys are just fucking badass, and I cannot wait to see you guys
Yeah.
do next, and hopefully you guys make the trek up here, and I get to see you
Yeah,
guys
we
live.
definitely will as soon as we're able to do that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And for you guys in Florida, make sure you pick up tickets to the fest in Gainesville this fall. They will be on there as well, and again, check out the album June 4th. But dude, again, I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Hey, no problem. And for everybody else, enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.